As time turns its pages, some names remain etched in the memory of history, never fading or forgotten. Among these, the name of Alexander the Great stands out, the genius boy from Macedonia who changed the course of the world in just a few years. But was Alexander a rare historical miracle? Or have myths exaggerated his image? Are we dealing with a true leader or a man who rose on the shoulders of coincidence? Today's journey takes us deep into the story of Alexander the Great, to unveil the man, the legend, and everything in between. Chapter 1. Origins and Beginnings. Alexander III was born in 356 BC in Pella, the capital of Macedonia. His father was Philip II, the great king of Macedonia, who reorganized the country and transformed it into a formidable regional power. His mother, Olympias, was a woman of strong character who had a profound spiritual influence on Alexander, instilling in him from an early age the idea that he was no ordinary person. His education was no ordinary one either. Alexander studied under one of the greatest minds of his time, the Greek philosopher Aristotle. Imagine! Aristotle himself was his personal tutor, teaching him philosophy, ethics, politics, and even the natural sciences. From here, Alexander began to view the world with a worldview different from that of his generation, a worldview that carried ambitions far beyond the confines of small Macedonia. Chapter 2. The Road to the Throne. At the age of only 20, and with his youth barely formed, his father was murdered under mysterious circumstances amid palace intrigue. Alexander inherited the throne of Macedonia, but he also inherited the responsibility of preserving a kingdom on the verge of collapse due to internal rebellions and external threats. But he didn't hesitate. With lightning speed, he crushed the internal rebels, united the Greek tribes under his banner, and seized control with the strength rare for a young leader. From his earliest days, he demonstrated that he was not just an heir apparent, but a man of the moment, a leader who knew what he wanted. Chapter 3. The Dream Begins. Towards the bigger world, Alexander wasn't content with uniting Greece and Macedonia. His ambitions soared far beyond. He saw that all of Asia awaited him. The great Persian Empire, which ruled most of the known world at the time, was ripe prey, needing only someone to dare to bite it. He set out on his great campaign. With a relatively small army, only about 30,000 fighters, Alexander crossed into Asia Minor. From there, he began to weave heroic epics, battle after battle, beginning with the Battle of Granicus, then Issus, and finally Gaugamela, where he faced the great Persian king, Darius III. With each battle, he demonstrated his extraordinary military genius. He moved with amazing plans, changed the formation of his armies with amazing flexibility, and anticipated the enemy's movements before they occurred. Chapter 4. Alexander and Politics. More than just a sword. But Alexander was not merely a bloodthirsty warrior, as some imagine. He was a skilled politician. He did not crush peoples, but rather embraced them. He adopted their cultures, adopted their clothing, married them, and integrated them into his grand project, a multicultural empire. In Persia, for example, he did not impose Greek culture by force, but rather respected Persian rituals, even wearing Persian dress on occasion. This behavior astonished his Greek followers, who viewed the Persians with contempt. However, for Alexander, it was part of his grand project, a single world united under the banner of tolerance and openness. Chapter 5. Unlimited Ambition and the Limits of Human Nature. Even after he overthrew Darius III and became the ruler of the largest empire the world had ever known, he didn't stop. He continued his march eastward, into Central Asia, all the way to the borders of India. There he fought the Battle of the Hydaspes River against King Porus, one of his fiercest battles. Despite his victory, the fatigue of the army, the changing climate, and the weakening spirit of the soldiers forced Alexander to stop. For the first time, Alexander faced the limits of his ambition. Even great leaders cannot defeat human fatigue. Chapter 6. The Premature End. Alexander returned to Babylon, and there his dreams began to falter. He planned to reorganize his vast empire, planning new campaigns toward the Arabian Peninsula. But suddenly, he was struck by a mysterious fever. In 323 BC, at the height of his glory, Alexander died at the age of just 32. With him, the dream of a global empire died. Alexander departed, leaving behind a great kingdom that did not last long after his death, but which left an indelible mark on human history. Alexander the Great was more than just a man carrying a sword. He was a dream on 2 feet, a dream that the world could be won, despite the wars and differences. Perhaps, for this reason, Alexander's story is still told today. It is told whenever a person dreams of a world without borders. And finally, our dear followers, don't forget to share your opinions in the comments, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell button to receive all our news.